Hello students, I am Dr. Ashish Kumar Sori. Welcome to revision summary part 10 of unit 8 of management. In this session, we will discuss the last part of operation research, which is decision theory. You can expect one question from this topic. The expected marks will be 1 and the difficulty level may range from easy to difficult. Now decision means when we have a set of alternative courses of action, and out of these alternative courses of action we have to select that course of action which is considered to meet the objectives of the decision problem more satisfactorily than others as judged by the decision maker. So when we have various courses of action, and out of these various courses of action we have to select the best course of action, okay, which will meet the objectives of the decision problem, then in that case we have to take a decision. So the decision theory deals with various types of decision making environment. The decision theory deals with various types of decision making environment. Now these can be classified under 3 categories, as you can see. The first is decision making under certainty, then decision making under risk, and decision making under uncertainty. So we will discuss all these 3. The first is decision making under uncertainty. So in this case we know the consequence with certainty. We know with the certainty the consequence of the selecting every course of action or decision choice. So whatever decision we are choosing, we in advance know with certainty that what will be the consequence of the decision that we are selecting. So accordingly we can take the best decision which will meet the objectives of the decision problem. There are various techniques to solve the problem with certainty. These techniques are system of equations, linear programming, integer programming, dynamic programming, queuing models, inventory models, capital budgeting analysis, and break-even analysis. You just need to remember the names of all these techniques. And then what do we mean by decision making under certainty? That I have told you that when we already know this with certainty the consequence of selecting every course of action, then it is called decision making under certainty. Now under decision making under risk, we don't know with certainty the outcome or the consequence of the decision, but the decision maker is supposed to have believed evidential information, knowledge, experience or judgment to assign probability values to the likelihood occurrence of each state of nature. So we don't know the exact consequence of every decision, but we can assign probabilities which are based on the information, knowledge, experience or judgment of the decision maker to the likelihood of occurrence of each state of nature. Probabilities could be assigned to future events by referring to similar previous experience and information. How we can assign probability? By referring to similar experience and in previous experience and information. Say for example, there is a shopkeeper who is selling newspaper. So based on his past experience, he can assign probabilities that how many number of or how many copies of a newspaper will be sold on each particular day of a week. So say from Sunday, Monday to Saturday, okay, to 7 days of a week, he can assign probabilities, okay, that how many the copies of newspaper he will sold in a particular day. So these probabilities he can assign based on his past experience and information. Sometimes past experience or past record often enable the decision maker to assign probabilities distribution of the states of nature. The best decision is to select that course of action which has the largest expected payoff. Now out of all these courses of action, we have to select that course of action that will result in the largest payoff. So in case we are maximizing the profit, so the course of action that will, say we want to we have been given the profit of each course of action. So the course of action that will give us the maximum profit, we will select that course of action. So under conditions of risk, the most popular decision criteria for evaluating the alternative is the expected monetary value, EMV, or expected opportunity lost, EOL, of the expected payoff. We will discuss in brief about these criteria. The first is expected monetary value criteria. So what we are doing in this criteria, we are multiplying the probabilities that we have assigned to each course of action with the possible payoff of that particular course of action. So here Pi1 is the probability associated with the first outcome, and PS1 is the payoff of that particular outcome. So we will multiply the probability of each outcome with the payoff, and we will add all these. This will be what the expected monetary value of that course of action. So EMV for a given course of action is just sum of possible payoffs of the alternative, each weighted by the probability of that payoff occurring. So we will find out the expected monetary value of all courses of action, and then we will select that course of action in which we have highest expected monetary value, or EMV. Then expected value of perfect information, EVPI. It is the expected or average return in the long run if we have perfect information before a decision has to be made. So if we have the perfect information before taking any decision, okay, then it is the expected EVPI, or the expected value of perfect information is the average return or the expected return in the long run with perfect information available. The expected value of perfect information may be defined as the maximum amount one would be willing to pay to acquire perfect information as to which event would occur. The expected value of perfect information is the expected outcome with perfect information. Now how to calculate its value? It is the expected outcome with perfect information minus the expected outcome without perfect information. So this is the formula to calculate EVPI. This is the formula to calculate EVPI. Okay. So we have EVPI equals to expected value with perfect information minus expected outcome without perfect information, or it is also called the maximum expected monetary value. So it is expected value with perfect information minus maximum expected monetary value. How to calculate expected monetary value? We have already discussed. Now out of all the EMVs, we will take the maximum EMV and we will subtract it from expected value with perfect information. That will give us the value of EVPI. Next is expected opportunity loss, EOL. It is an alternative approach to maximize the expected monetary value. We have discussed that expected opportunity loss or expected monetary value are the two criteria for decision making with with risk. So expected opportunity loss or expected value of regret, it is also called expected value of regret. It is calculated as follows: EOL equals to M1 minus P1J multiplied by PS1 and so on. Here PS1, PS2 up to PSM, these are the prior probabilities corresponding to the state of nature. So these are the different outcomes or state of nature, and these are the probabilities that we have assigned to the state of nature. Okay, and MJ minus PIJ, that is this term. It refers to the possible regret of an alternative with reference to the highest payoff of an alternative. So with the help of this formula, we can find out the value of EOL. Then third is decision making under uncertainty. So if we don't know the probabilities associated with each outcome, then we are dealing with decision making under uncertainty. Under this condition, the probabilities associated with occurrence of different states of nature are not known. That is, there is no historical data available or no relative frequency which could indicate the probability of the occurrence of a particular state of nature. So we have already discussed that probabilities can be assigned with the help of past data or experience. So if no past data is available, then in that case we cannot calculate the probability. Hence we are dealing with the decision maker making under uncertainty. So such situations arise when new product is introduced in the market or a new plant is set up. In all these cases, there is no previous information available. The number of different decisions criteria available under the condition of uncertainty are given below. So the different criteria to deal with this situation are: the first is the criteria of pessimism or maximin. So maximin means maximum of minimum value, maximum of all minimum value. So here we are having the pessimistic view. How? This criteria is this decision to take the course of action which maximize the minimum possible payoff. So for each course of action, we are finding out the minimum possible payoff. For each course of action, we are finding out the minimum possible payoff. And out of all these minimum possible payoff values, we are selecting the maximum value. So we are having a pessimistic view, pessimistic or conservative view, because we are selecting the minimum possible payoff value and not the maximum. And out of these minimum, we are selecting the maximum value. Since this decision criteria locates the alternative strategy that has the least possible loss, it is also known as pessimistic decision criteria. This criteria corresponds to identify the worst possible outcome or the minimum payoff. So we are selecting the worst possible outcome or minimum payoff in each course of action, that is maximum loss और minimum outcome. Okay, अगर हम loss की बात कर रहे हैं तो हम maximum loss because it will be the worst outcome, और अगर हम positive payoff की बात कर रहे हैं तो minimum payoff और minimum outcome that would occur under each decision alternative, and then selecting the best out of the worst. So we are selecting best out of the worst outcome. So that's why we are having pessimistic view. The criteria of optimism or maximus. Now this is opposite to maximin. Here we are selecting maximum of all maximum values. So that's why we are having a optimistic view. Okay. So the maximax criteria finds the course of action or alternative strategy that maximizes the maximum payoff. So for each course of action, we are selecting the maximum payoff, and out of these maximum payoff values, we are selecting the maximum one. So we are selecting actually maximum of all maximum values. So that's why we are having optimistic view. Hence it is the optimism criteria. Since the decision criteria locates the alternative with the highest possible gain, तो अगर हम यहाँ पर gain की बात कर रहे हैं तो we will select the highest possible gain. It has also been called an optimistic decision criteria. Thus, this criteria corresponds to identifying the best possible outcome or maximum payoff associated with each course of action, and then choose the maximum of the maximum values in order to select the optimal course of action. Third is minimax regret criteria. So we are selecting the minimum of maximum value. Under this criteria, for each conditional profit or payoff or cost value, a regret value equal to the difference between the maximum payoff under a state of nature and payoff resulting from each course of action under that strategy is calculated. So what we are doing, we are calculating a regret payoff, which is the difference of maximum payoff from that course of action minus the payoff of that course of action. So this is what the regret value. Thus obtain the maximum regret, and we are obtaining the maximum regret for each course of action, and then select course of action with the minimum of the maximum regret values. So what we are doing, we are selecting the minimum of maximum regret values. So hence the name is minimax regret criteria. Next is criteria of realism, or it is also known as Hurwitz criteria. This is a compromise between optimistic and pessimistic decision criteria. Remember this, Hurwitz criteria is a compromise between optimistic and pessimistic decision criteria. So what we are doing, we are selecting a coefficient of optimism, okay, which is denoted by alpha. So alpha is what? The coefficient of optimism. When alpha is close to 1, this means decision maker is optimistic about the future. And when alpha is close to 0, the decision maker is pessimistic about the future. So when the value of alpha approaches to 1, we are having an optimistic view. When the value of alpha approaches to 0, we are having a pessimistic view. Okay. Now according to Hurwitz, select the strategy which maximizes. So what we are doing, under each course of action, we will select the maximum payoff and we will select the minimum payoff. So for each course of action, we will identify two values. One is maximum payoff, another is minimum payoff. So we will multiply alpha with the maximum payoff and 1 minus alpha with the minimum payoff. So say for under a particular course of action, say we have selected alpha as 0.8, okay, and the maximum payoff is say 100. Then 1 minus alpha will be 0.2, and say minimum payoff here is say 10 for a particular course of action. Okay, so value of h will be 80 plus 2, 82. This will be the value of h. So we will calculate the value of h for each course of action, and then we will select the maximum value. Okay, maximum, we will identify the course of action that is having the maximum h value, right? We will select the maximum value and minimum value for each course of action. We will multiply alpha with maximum value, 1 minus alpha with minimum value. Hence we will calculate the h value for, or Hurwitz value for each course of action. Then we will select that course of action which has the maximum value of h, right? Then last is criteria of rationality, or Bayes or Laplace criteria. Now this is the criteria of average. This criteria is based on the principle of insufficient reasons or equally likelihood. We are not assigning any probability to each payoff, rather we are giving equal weightage, okay, or equal likelihood chance to each payoff. The decision maker first calculate the average outcome of every course of action. So what we are doing, we are calculating the average outcome of every course of action. So what we will do for a particular course of action, we will multiply all payoff, we will add all payoff values. Okay, say if there are 5 payoff values, say P1, P2, P3, P4 and say P5. So we will add all these 5 values and we will divide it by 5. This will give us the average value, okay, or average payoff for that particular course of action. This we will do for all courses of action. For all course of action, we will calculate an average payoff in this way, okay, and then select with the maximum number. Now the outcome or the course of action which is having the highest average value will be selected. Then we have decision tree analysis. What is decision tree? It is a graphical display or presentation of various decisions. A decision tree is a graphic display or presentation of various decisions alternative and the sequence of events as if they were branches of a tree. So what we are doing in a graphical way, we are displaying all decision alternatives in their occurrence of or in their order of occurrence or in a sequence of their occurrence. Like this, these decisions are, say for example, are the branches of a tree. So that's why the name decision tree has been given. In a decision tree, the decision problem, alternate course of action, states of nature and the likely outcome of alternatives are diagrammatically presented. So what we are doing, the decision problem, the alternative courses of action, state of nature and the likely outcome, that what will be the payoff of each alternative, are diagrammatically presented along with their probabilities. A decision tree consists of network of nodes, branches, probability estimates and payoffs. So these are what the components of decision tree: decision nodes, branches, probability estimates and payoffs. I will show you diagram after this. There are two types of node: square node or decision nodes, circle node or chance nodes. So there are two types of nodes in a decision tree. We have nodes like this, square nodes, or these are called decision nodes, and we have nodes like this, circular nodes, or these are called chance node. Okay, remember this. Question may ask from this part. Alternative course of action or strategies originate from the decision node. So whatever are the alternative course of action, they originate always from the decision node. So remember this, alternate course of action or strategies originate from decision node and the main branches of decision tree and also the main branches of the decision tree. At the terminal of each decision branch, there is a chance node. So say from this decision node, there are two branches which come out, and at the end of each branch, there will be a chance or circular node, where chance event emanates in the form of sub branches. Payoff and the probability associated with alternative courses and chance events are shown alongside the chance branches. So the probabilities and the expected payoff will be shown in the decision tree. A decision tree is analyzed using rollback technique. Okay, this is important. It is analyzed with the help of rollback technique, which means we will start from the last node and not the first node. We will always start analysis from the last node, okay, which will be there on the right hand side, okay, and not from the first node which is there on the left hand side, which proceeds from the last decision in the sequence and work back to the first for each of the possible decision. So say for example, this is a decision tree. This is what? Decision node, okay, and this circle shows the chance node, okay. These are the probabilities associated with all the outcomes, okay, and these are the expected payoffs, okay. So how we will do, go through, we will go with rollback technique. Means for this particular alternative, we will calculate the probability. How? We will multiply these payoffs with these probabilities, okay. So for example, say 70 multiplied by 0.4. This is negative value, so it will be minus 13 multiplied by 0.6. Okay, we will, in this way, we will calculate the expected probability of this particular chance node. Same way we will do it for this, and then we will calculate the payoff for this by adding the value of this, this and this. Here no probability is assigned, so we will take the value as 20 itself. Here it will be 53 multiplied by 0.4 minus 5 multiplied by 0.6. So we will get a value of this, payoff of this, we will get a payoff of this, and we have been given a payoff of this, right? So we will add all these three values and we will get the payoff of this, okay, decision node. So this is what? Rollback technique. We will start from the last node and will come to the first node. So these are some of the questions from the previous year examinations. This question is from UGC NET December 18 examination. The following statements relate to the decision tree analysis. Choose the correct code for the statements being correct or incorrect. A decision tree contains the probabilities of outcome and the conditional monetary values attached to those outcomes. This is true. We have just seen this. In a decision tree, nodes at the left represent action that occurs before nodes that fall farther to the right. This is true. Look at this. These are the nodes at the left. These are the nodes at the right. और अगर यहाँ पे और ब्रांचेस होती तो हमारे पास और नोड्स होते. तो नोड्स एट द लेफ्ट आर द represent the action that occurs before the nodes that fall further to the right. So this statement is also true. So both the statements 1 and true are right here. Which of the following criteria is not used for decision making under uncertainty? So maximin criteria, yes it is used. Maximus, max, yes it is used. Minimax, yes it is used. Minimize expected loss, no, this criteria was not there under decision making under uncertainty. So the correct code is fourth. हमें क्या बताना था? Which of the following is not used? Not used. So this option fourth one is not used for decision making under uncertainty. So students, if you are preparing for IIT, JEM, CSIR, NET and NT-UGC NET, then you can buy study material from Edunkle. You can also download the app of Edunkle from a Google Play Store. These will definitely help you to crack your examination. On this app, you will find a support from 250 experienced faculties who will help you to solve your queries. Thank you very much.